Let's continue with our Home Pros segment, and we have our resident HVAC Home Pros in the house, Colorado Discount Heating and Cooling. All right, joining me is Service Manager Tommy Garcia with all the tips that we need to know. This is a great time of year to be talking about this. So let's first start with any signs that we need to be keeping an eye out, really that might show us, hey, it's time to service our heating and cooling.
Right now, I think most of what we've seen is that our bills are going up quite a bit. A lot of times there's funny noises coming from them. If we're noticing extra dirt and dust around the house, anything like that will go ahead and tell us that something should be looked at.
Yeah, I know some people in my neighborhood have been complaining a lot about some of their heating bills and being surprised by them, and have been giving a lot of HVAC companies a lot of calls these days.
A lot of people are thinking that it's a fluke, but it's not. I mean, right now, gas prices went up again, and they're going to continue to go up. So if the system's not working properly, it will cost you more every time you run it.
So what are some best practices maybe that we as homeowners can do to make sure that the lifespan of our systems are working and as long as possible?
Simplest thing is going to be routine maintenance. Call us up, let us check it out pre-winter, pre-summer. At least this way we'll know how it's going to perform in the upcoming season. Filter changes. Changing your filter every 30 days will extend the life of the system itself.
Sometimes they're just simple things like that, right? We just
So
forget and we don't realize it until it's too late.
And it happens. We get busy with our day-to-day lives, but these are things that affect us, and one cold morning,
Yeah.
we'll do it. You'll remember right after.
Seems you remember very quickly when it's really cold in your home. What are some of the things that you do to actually protect customers when you're working in their homes?
Well, simply, we wear shoe covers when we're walking around the house, face masks. So, I mean, we live in a crazy time, so we got to make sure that we're protecting everyone that way. We also put rugs down in front of our equipment when servicing, make sure to protect their floors. We're also licensed, bonded, and insured, so anything that does happen will always be covered.
That's good to know, and I'm sure our viewers appreciate that as well. All right, you've been in this business a long time. You've got to have some good stories, don't you? Do you have a story or a memory you could share with us, maybe being out on a call?
Not one specific, but I mean, what I do love more than anything is seeing little kids in the house when you walk in and they have been cold or something hasn't been working right, and just seeing how happy they get when it is working right again.
Well, let's also talk about a common misconception maybe that, when it comes to HVAC systems, I think a lot of us just take them for granted, until they're not working. What's a misconception you could educate us about?
Well, most people think that maintenance gets you nowhere, and that's not true. If you really do take care of your system, it will last longer. I mean, what we see is that when you got funny noises coming out of it, when we got these high electricity bills, and most people think that as long as it turns on, that it's working okay. Just because it runs doesn't mean that it's safe, and doesn't mean that it's going to make it through the season.
Yeah, or running well. Just because it's on doesn't mean it's running well.
Absolutely.
Right now, I think a lot of people too are also making sure that energy efficiency is paramount, making sure that everything is running and not keeping that heating bill up very high. You just touched on some of that. Any other tips you have for us?
Adjusting your thermostat. I mean, knowing kind of how the day's weather is going to be will help, but adjusting your thermostat to make sure that the system doesn't have to run unless necessary.
Yeah.
So there are Energy Star thermostats that can be installed to go ahead and work with that.
And the great offer you have for everyone.
So we have, for the next 10 customers, we're giving a case of filters. Whoever calls in, mention Mile High Living, and we will give you a case of filters along with your service.
All right, thanks so much. We appreciate that. Let's remind folks, if you want unparalleled heating and cooling service at unbeatable prices, call the Home Pros at Colorado Discount Heating and Cooling today. They are licensed, insured, and bonded, and they even offer same-day service. Don't forget their great special offer for the first 10 people who call them for a tune-up. You'll get a free box of filters. So go ahead and give them a call at 303-566-1090 or visit their website at calldenverhvac.com. They paid for today's segment.